happy to be with you today, as we are every day. If you miss part of this, don't worry, just go download it. Get your podcasts wherever they are. Get the Down and Dirty anytime you want. And you can also go to ESPN 700 Sports app or ESPN700sports.com. So don't miss out. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, we all want to tune in on the good days, but we also want to tune in on the bad days. Sometimes it's more therapeutic, more meaningful. Maybe we can talk one another off the ledge here on a Monday. Of course, so much going on over the weekend and so much going on this week. I mean, it's a big week in sports. The NBA starts again. We got the World Series coming up. Big Game 7 is tonight. Monday Night Football doubleheader. I mean, the Mammoth are off to a pretty good start here, so it's looking good for sports. Of course, it's looking really good if you're a BYU fan. Your team is 7-0. It begs the question: has the student taken over for the master? Kalani Sitake, after Saturday's win against Utah in the Holy War, said that he owes everything he has and where he is and what's happening to Kyle Whittingham. And Kyle was, I'm sure, a great mentor to Kalani, and just said how much he appreciates and loves Kyle and all that he's meant to him. And that's very nice and very kind. And I believe that. I really do. And Kyle's had an influence and a massive imprint on this rivalry and on a lot of people that were in that rivalry as coaches. And of course, as players, are a direct result of Kyle Whittingham. I would say almost all of them. So that's quite a legacy, quite a statement, and quite a thing. I mean, Kyle Whittingham has been a phenomenal coach at the University of Utah, phenomenal coach. Really probably the best coach. Well, it's not a probably thing. It's the best coach Utah has had. How he's won, how he's figured out how to win, how he's transitioned from conference to conference. And this Big 12 has been a bugaboo. It's not been easy. And I think a lot of people thought it was going to be easy. I think a lot of people thought that, oh man, we'll just roll it, because we're on top of the mountain in the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 easily is better than the Big 12, and we'll just roll right in and we'll just steamroll them all. And in fact, I had a conversation with Kalani Sitake after his first year at BYU, and he just said, our guys were not ready for this. They were not ready for the physicalness of it. They were not ready for these teams are pretty good. And it's unfortunate right now in college football how little respect the Big 12 gets, but it's a good conference. It's not a great conference. It doesn't have that team that's elite. There's not an elite team in the Big 12. And that's what this is all about. Looking at this game on Saturday, my first blush was it reminded me of the football player that has to go take a drug test, and he just can't perform under pressure. He cannot get it done. When someone's watching, he can't perform. And that collector, that test giver just makes him nervous, and he locks up and he shuts down. The two games where people have been watching, the big stage, Big Noon, maybe just ban Big Noon from any Utah game because they're not good luck. And for whatever reason, this team just doesn't show up under the lights, under the big stage. You can look at the Texas Tech game, and it's like, oh, my goodness, we had things open. We had a touchdown, and we had stupid penalties that brought it back. I mean, how do you have 3 holding penalties on kickoffs that are going in or out of the freaking end zone? Like, it's unacceptable. And those holding penalties are all they're brain farts. There are people that are just, I don't know. They're not dialed in. They're not tuned in. They're not ready for this game. And any little advantage that somebody else gets it's a huge challenge to you. Instead of you start drives on the 5-yard line and the 10-yard. It's hard. Like it's hard to go 95 yards for a touchdown, especially with an offense that has to go 5 and 10 and 6 and 3 yards at a time. This isn't an explosive offense. And so a lot of things can eventually go wrong. And you've got to be on your game and sharp as attack if you're gonna win, if you're Utah. And this team goes as the quarterback goes. And the quarterback didn't have his A game. He could not run in the second half. I mean, Utah starts the second half and they're throwing the football. And they're certainly not running it. Don't know why they weren't running it, but they didn't do it. And so here's, everyone's like, man, if Coach Whittingham, if he just would have kicked the field goals. They do extensive analytics. And they know that they have to score points. They have to score a lot of points. And this is a conference. Look, the defense is good. Okay, it's not a great defense. There's not a star on that defense. There's a bunch of guys that try hard and play hard, but there is not an elite star on that defense. And so people are going to score on them. And they're good. It's just, so you have to score. You have to score to be in the game in the Big 12. You got to score 25 points. I mean, if Utah scores 25 points, they win that game. 25-24. To almost guarantee you're going to win, you got to score 30. You just have to, because the teams are that evenly matched. So it's hard to score 30 points. It's hard to score 25 points if you're kicking field goals. And it's 3 field goals to make up for 1 touchdown. That's 3 possessions. And Coach Whittingham was adamant about this after the game. He says, "Look, I would do it the same way." And they've studied this. The NBA is no different. They know that it's much better for us to shoot 3-point baskets than it is 2s. It's just the percentages are there. Because let's say you shoot at 45% and you shoot 2 points, right? And if you shoot 39% threes, the math just says you're better off shooting 3-pointers from the percentages. And I'm sure it's the same way. I don't know the analytics. I know they do them, and they live and die by them. It's the same thing on 4th down. So, it's again, I guess 4th down is that, but it almost isn't. And you're seeing more and more and more teams in college and professional football going for it more on 4th down. So I know we all, at the end of the day, said, "Man, take the points, take the point. Come on, coach, take the points." Now there is a side of it. I don't think analytics can actually like catch, and that's the emotional boost and the emotional drain that happens in these games. And I think that's what happens to this Utah football team. I think that they're so emotionally drained and charged. So, and all they're doing is they're chasing the whole game, right? They're just chasing, they're chasing. And then all of a sudden the momentum swings like it did. They went ahead in late in the game, or I guess the beginning of the 4th quarter. And then it was just like all the air came out of the bubble. Just, and the defense now that was looking pretty good couldn't stop Bear Bachmeier. And Bear Bachmeier, to me, looks like Tim Tebow, who can actually throw the football. He looked, yeah, he runs straight ahead. I mean, there's, you get him going sideways, a different thing, but yeah, he runs downhill. Whoa, that's pretty good. And he's only going to go up, just so you know. So there's a lot to unravel here in this game, and I'm going to unravel it. And some of it might not be very pretty, but it's going to be pretty honest, and I think a pretty fair assumption of where this program is, because I really thought the ASU game, I thought losing to Texas Tech, I really thought that had the team dialed in and focused and committed and all these things. And, I think we're seeing this is more of a middle of the road team than not. But here's what Coach Whittingham had to say after the game, his kind of thoughts.
Well, just the things you mentioned for certain. I mean, we did do some good things. We had more first downs, more rushing yards, more passing yards, more total yards. I mean, we did a lot of good things, but we didn't capitalize when we needed to. Um, in the red zone, we're only 2 for 4 in the red zone. They were 4 for 4. Uh, we lost the turnover margin, as you mentioned, 2-0, and you just can't, when you're playing quality teams, you just can't do that. You got to be able to score in the red zone. You got to hang on to the ball or create some of your own takeaways, which we weren't able to do. And because if you just look at the numbers, and we had 226 yards rushing and 240 something throwing, but that doesn't matter because we didn't score as many points as they did. So that was disappointing, but we got to give them credit. They made the plays tonight that needed to be made.
So, as I'm saying this, about scoring, and you have to score and you have to take advantage of your opportunities. In Utah, as much as anyone, because they're such a ball control team, when you get down there, the number one priority you have to have is you got to score touchdowns. And they've been great at it. Been, I think, the top team in the country doing it. And so you run fly sweep on fourth down, and it's like, okay, and you're trusting a freshman who has a lot of talent and ability, and think, this guy should at least make someone miss because he's very fast, and but he's also very inexperienced. You watched later in the game Daniel Bray running those fly sweeps. He ran as fast as he could to get to the edge, and when he didn't get the edge, he planted and got up the field. And he's got to see that situation and understand that situation. Because in the fourth down, if he runs and he plants his foot, and the guy's momentum is going to take him forward, and he cuts up, and if the guy gets him, even if he spins off of him, he's just got to get a couple of yards. He's a yard and a half. It's not even a lot of yards. But when you're young, you're not. You may even be incapable of doing that. Now, is he capable now? Sure. And that's why it's So, in my mind, the guy that's the magic in the red zone is your quarterback. And he is magic in the red, and he has been. That's one of the very best things that Devin Dampier has been, is magic in the red zone. And he's been very creative and throwing the football and running the football. And I would never take the ball out of his hands, never. Now there was another situation. They said, okay, we're not going to take the ball out of his hands, and we're going to give it to him. And he missed the read. And I know he saw a little hole, a little bit of daylight, and he thought he could just tuck it up in there and get the first down. And he just didn't quite get it. Now, had he gone to the inside and his tackle or his guard, someone was pulling, and that and again, he'd scored touchdowns on this counter against Arizona State, like, ad nauseum. I mean, they ran that play to death, and it was extremely successful. And had he followed his guard around the outside, he would have walked into the end zone and probably gone in untouched. And so I bring up these points because I really think it's this effort to try to do too much, to kind of not just take a deep breath and just you got to be in the moment. And I believe Utah, you listen to Kyle Whittingham after he says, look, we had best week of practice. Like these guys were dialed in. And I believe they're dialed in. But I believe that there has to come this ability, this mindset, this toughness, this grit, this, I don't care what happens, we're getting the first down right here mindset. Like there's just, and I don't feel that consistent. And the same thing on the defense. Like we have to stop them right now. Like right now. Like not like We have the game in our hands. We're going to go out on the field and we're going to win this game. And I don't see it. I don't feel it. I don't feel this like killer instinct. And it's about when the game is on the line, you got to relish that moment. You got to want to be on the field. That was the thing that I can tell you in my profession. I love being on the field at the end of the game because I hated to stand on the sideline and hope our defense won the game. I wanted to be out on the field, and that's the mindset you have to have. You have to want to be out on that field. And I'll give you a gutty performance. Okay. Sam Levitt. Sam Levitt's not 100%. Sam Levitt's playing Texas Tech. He's been beaten, battered, blah, 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 all these things, and he is just finding ways to win. He's just like, give me the ball. I'm going to will us to victory. Now you take Arizona State a week ago and you take Utah right now. Arizona State's only had one conference loss to Utah. And they're right in the middle of this, and they've beaten the team with the best record. Like they're right up there as, one of the four teams really in the conference that could probably win it now. And you look at where they were a week ago, and Kenny Dillingham gave them the riot act. And he's telling them to be more like Utah. And now I'm saying to Utah, you need to be more like Arizona State. The reality is, I believe, is this football team, this Utah football team is a good team. They're a good Big 12 team. They're not a bad team. Like the two losses that they've been in, they've been right in it all the way, pretty much up till the end. The game got away from them. Texas Tech scored a garbage touchdown late. But that game was closer than the score was. But there's just not a consistent effort and focus every single week. And so it means something to me. And I'm not sure what, and it could, and that meaning could be different things. And I say, I'm not sure what it is. I kind of think I know, or it's my opinion, my speculation as to what it is. So offensively, I don't think Devin Dampier could run in the second half. I think he got injured because he wasn't running the same as he did against Arizona State. And when he doesn't run like that, he's a totally different player. And that, maybe that's a maturity thing he's got to figure out. He's got to figure out if I can't run and then I can't play now. Now that kind of begs the question. He's playing better competition week in and week out now. There's been 3 or 4 games into conference play and playing, whereas at New Mexico, he didn't see those really, really good teams every single week. And this is a New Mexico team that was just okay. And so now he's playing really good competition, more physical than what he's seen in his life, really. And this is his first time seeing it. And I wonder what kind of impact it has on him to have to face the good competition. Even the bad teams still have better players. And does that impact it? Because he's the guy. I hate to say it, he's the guy. He has to run. That's his game. So if he can't run, what do you do? And I don't know that anyone knows that. I don't even know if Devin Dampier. I don't know if Jason Beck knows that answer, because Devin Dampier in the pocket, throwing the football, he does not throw on time. When there's not a rhythm. Typically drop back, normal passing routes have a timing to them. You have a couple of guys, 2 or 3 guys in a typical area of the field, and you're going to hit either the first guy, nope, the second guy, nope, the third guy, nope, and then you run. And a lot of times you see it, the first and second guy are the first thing. It's like it's one of those two, and then to the third guy. Or it might be just one of those two, and then you move to a different part of the field. And he's not really comfortable with that. and he can't see it very well. And it's just because he's not a tall guy at all, and that's a problem, and it's been a problem. So if he can't run, and then part of, well, you want to roll him out. It's like, well, you can't roll him out because he can't run. So you get kind of it's a challenge, and so you're looking for, well, let's give him easy throws, these shorter routes, and everyone's just jumping all this stuff because they know that's all he can do, and so it really makes it tough to consistently do that. It's really tough. So I'm not sure what the answer is. I really don't know. Now, I think our expectation is, well, this Utah team is just, they're a championship caliber team. And we're used to that. I mean, you go to 4 Pac-12 championship games. Why would you not be used to that? Why wouldn't you feel like, okay, they've really got this program dialed in? College football has changed. I don't believe Utah has the same depth and quality of players they had when they went to and won Pac-12 championships. I don't. I'm not seeing a Clark Phillips, a Jalen Johnson shutdown corner. I'm not seeing an elite safety. I'm not seeing a Devin Lloyd. I'm not seeing Junior Tafuna. I'm not seeing some of these elite defensive ends. I mean, John Henry, he's really good, and they're good and they play hard, but it was a collective group of these guys, and I'm just seeing a lot of just good players who play hard, but I don't see elite players on his team on both sides of the ball. I mean, who are the playmakers at the wide? They're not there, and they're not, and I think we're expecting to see this now. This comes down to really the fans, because it comes down to the boosters. It comes down to the fans, and if you don't put the money into your program, you're going to get left behind. You're going to be an average middle of the road team in the Big 12, because you're going to get some money, and like everyone's going to get some money, but you can go out and get more money. You don't, the house settlement gives you some money, but there is other money out there, and that's got to come from other sources. So I hate to say this, and I think you're at a crossroads, because I don't know. We don't know where BYU is. We don't know where they're doing something different than they have been. Like Kalani Sitake is really, like I said, the student might have become the master, because there's a belief, there's an excitement, there's an energy there that I'm not feeling on the Utah side. I feel a lot of angst. I feel a lot of nervousness. I feel a lot of challenges, and I don't know what that means. I really don't. Now, I've also been asked this question: was this Coach Whittingham's last Holy War game, or does he say, "Well, wait just a minute. I'm going to come back. Because I lost this one, and I've lost 3 in a row, and I'm not really excited about losing 3 in a row." So I really believe, and I don't know anything. Okay, so I'm just asked the question. I'm going to answer the question, and so this is speculation. This isn't. I know this for a fact. It's just my observation, and I think it is last year. I really do, and I don't know what kind of impact that has on the team or Coach Whittingham. Because I've seen these coaches who they get hired, they have a new job, and like Mario Cristobal, when Utah played him in the they played him in the Pac-12 championship, and I'm like, he's not. This isn't the same team. They don't have the same energy. There's something weird going on here, and I mentioned it in our broadcast. This isn't the Oregon team. This isn't Mario Cristobal. So I don't know. And then after the game, it was announced he was leaving. And so maybe subconsciously, maybe that has an impact on this team. I don't know. but I think this is Coach Whittingham's last year. Well, I'll tell you whose year it's not their last year, because they've been in business for 5 generations, and that's the folks at RGS Exteriors. Joining us on the program right now, of course, Tim Brown, who is so what, you're the 5th generation then, right? Is that right, Tim?
Well, I'm the 4th, and my kids are the
Okay.
5th.
I got it. Okay, so you got, anyways, RGS Exteriors has been around for a super long time, and of course, they are amazing. They provide outdoor siding and gutters. They do heat cables. They do decks. They just got a lot of things you guys are into, and you do, and it's not just into it. I mean, you do it very well. Won over 21 different awards for best in state, and of course, in 2025, you've won the Guildmaster with Distinction Award, which I think is very important. Please tell me why that's so important, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different award, right? You know, people see the best estates, they got a good idea what that is. They go look at Google reviews, they get an idea what that is. But what guild quality is and why it matters to the consumers is that it's an independent company that surveys customers that have had work done on their home. And so once those surveys have been done, then they collect the data and then basically, give it back to a business owner and let them know how they've done. And 95% of our customers would hire us again or refer us to a friend or family member. So, and the national average is 50%, and so we've hit at 95. So one, that's an amazing thing, but the only way to receive that award is to have a 95% or higher approval rating.
Yeah, it's a really a remarkable thing when people are, it's not just you tooting your own horn. It's the other people. Because I know for me, I mean, that's what I look for. And so you've got all these great things going for you. You've got great reviews from third-party sources, people that have done business with you, and it's like pretty much everyone who does business with you. Because let's face it, that one person, they're not going to be happy no matter what. So you just throw them out, right? So pretty much everybody who does business with RGS Exteriors is happy. You are the longest standing home exterior company in all of Utah. And I think one of the things that's is really important to me, because owning a home is a huge investment, and people are staying in their homes because they have these interest rates that are so good. So they don't want to sell their home, but they want to improve it. And you provide products to improve the exterior of homes that aren't just products. I mean, they're high quality. This James Hardie siding is really one of the best things you can put on the outside of your home.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. The thing is about James Hardie siding in Utah with the climates that we have is people don't realize because we're a desert, we have such extreme temperatures, and the temperature changes so drastically. So by us having a product that doesn't move or doesn't expand and contract, and then also can handle the UV rays because we're so high in elevation, that really, really is important. And vinyl is a good product, and we still install a little bit of vinyl, but vinyl does that. It does warp eventually. It does fade. Well, James Hardie siding is fiber cement. It doesn't expand and contract. It doesn't fade because of the paint warranty. So it's an amazing product for our climate.
So if a person, look, you do yourself a disservice if you don't take care of the home, and you do yourself a disservice if you don't go check out RGS Exteriors to take care of this home and get it kind of structured in a way that fits best for our climate, best for the longevity of your home. And while supplies last, I believe you have you just get a complete estimate, and you're going to give folks a Mickey blanket.
Yeah, I think we still have a few left. I'm not sure we did that promotion last week, but we still have a few more, so we'll still absolutely honor that as long as customers give us a call. Look, the snow's coming. We just want to get you taken care of before that weather turns. So just give us a call, get our guys out there. Let's look at your gutters and siding. And even if you're thinking about doing the project in the spring, get us out there now. Price increases always happen January 1. So we want to get everybody locked in before those happen. So just give us a call and let us see if we can earn your business.
All right, give him a call, as Tim Brown says, 801-280-3110, or go to rgsexteriors.com or utahgutters.com. And tell them that we sent you here from the Down and Dirty on ESPN 700. All right, really appreciate your time, Tim. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Have an amazing day.
All right, there you have it. Call them, RGS Exteriors, 801-280-3110. Or go to rgsexteriors.com, utahgovernors.com. This is the Down and Dirty with Scott Mitchell here on ESPN 700. Oh boy, we got some fun stuff. Hey, hey, I want to, look, I do a lot of things wrong, but picking NFL games, I got a pretty good average going right now. We'll talk about that. And an amazing comeback by the Denver Broncos when the Down and Dirty returns here on ESPN 700 921 FM.
Nice job, man. As always, the great Scott Mitchell does what he's got to do.
Ha, 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 ha. Hello, sports fans. Welcome back. This is the Down and Dirty, and I am Scott Mitchell, and I do this every weekday right here, right now. This is ESPN 700, 92 on FM. Okay, this is going to hurt. This statement is going to sting. It's going to hurt. It is the Down and Dirty, and it needs to be said. Utah, your rival BYU, owns you right now. And they say, "Oh, BYU's won the last three." I don't care about the one years ago. Charlie Brewer was playing. Right now, when you two have been in the same conference in Power 4 football, BYU's won every game. That's the reality of things. I don't want to say it. Believe me, I hate to say this. I don't even want to say this, but we need to say it. So, what are you going to do about it? It's one thing to lose the games, but what are you going to do about it? Because when it matters most, and that game was the season. Like right now, how do you get to the conference championship game if you're Utah? Texas Tech has to lose 2 more games to get past them. BYU has to lose 3 games to get past them. Arizona State would have to lose 1 more game. Because you hold the tiebreaker, you have to beat Cincinnati and hope Cincinnati loses. So Cincinnati's got to lose at least 2 more games. And you have to hope BYU loses at Iowa State, at Texas Tech, and at Cincinnati. But it doesn't, if they lose to Texas Tech, it doesn't mean Texas Tech is, still ahead of Utah. They lose to Cincinnati. I mean, it's really hard. It's a hard road. I'm not saying it's impossible. And I know this is the Big 12, And I know, and I know when Utah went to one of its conference I mean, when it went to the two it won, it had 3 losses on the season. So it wasn't like Utah was just killing people. They're just winning at the right time and beating the right teams to get into the Pac-12 championship game. And so even, I mean, that's kind of where it is. So that game was everything. Like, it was so important. But right now, your rival is owning you. And that's and we all just talk and say, and we can say, man, we rushed for a lot of yards, we threw for a lot of yards, we moved the ball between the 20 and 20 like a champ, but we didn't, so I don't want to hear about statistics. I don't want to hear about a close game. I don't want to hear about any. I'm just like a whole, I don't know, wholesale. There has to be just someone got to just come forward and say, enough with this. Well, I don't care what happens. We're not losing another football game this year. We're not. We're putting it all on the line. We're gonna get tough and gritty, and will our way to winning here. And the season's by far not over. I mean, it's just not over. Look, I've been around a long time with football, and I know it's not over until it's over. I mean, ask the Denver Broncos. They were down by 26 to the New York Football Giants, and of course they came back and won their game against the Giants. So you have to, you just have to line up and you have to play. And you can't get in your head. You can't get too far ahead of yourself. You can't sit and mutter in too far behind yourself and feel sorry. You just have to just get just gritty and you just got to get down and dirty. You just do. And but you need to be honest with yourself and where you are. Because if you just say, no, it's okay, then okay is going to continue to happen. You're just going to be okay. So let it sink in, people. It's not a pleasant thing to have to sink into. But you know what? I love these times. I love when it gets challenging. I'm excited by that. I'm like, bring it on. Let's go. Let's figure this out. I love being the underdog. I love overcoming the odds and the challenges. And I love when everyone's against you. I love when people like, they don't care about us. We mean nothing. So right now, Utah will not be talked about winning the conference, about being in the conference race. Like it's filtering itself out, and Utah's not there right now. And that's not, I don't want that. Who wants to be out of the conversation? And it's also relevance because this thing is going to continue to consolidate in college football moving forward. And you don't want to be an average 500 team in the Big 12 in 5 years. You don't. Or unless you do. Unless, hey, if you just want to be there, it's like, we're fine. We're okay. It doesn't mean that much to us. We don't have to be the best. We're just going to be okay. And if that's what you want, you're going to lose a lot of fans. I'll just tell you that right now. You're going to lose a lot of fans if you do that. Well, let's move on to the NFL. Okay, last Friday, I had some predictions, and Martin has gone and researched our show on Friday and to find out the accuracy of my predictions. And of the 12 games that I predicted, I was right in 10 of them this past week. So I was 10 for 12, which I believe that's what my mark was. No, I think I was 12 for 14. So there's 2 Monday night games. And I'm picking the home team. So I'm picking the Lions and the Seahawks to win tonight. So if those 2 teams win tonight, I go 12 for 14 2 weeks in a row. Don't ask me how I do this. I don't even know people. I don't even call people. I certainly, and by the way, my way of doing this is not I'm betting the odds, okay? Because if you picked Utah, just so you know, if you picked Utah to win, then I believe you won, right? Because they were. Is that right, Martin? I'm not a gambler, so because I think Utah was a 3.5-point favorite.
I think that's right. If you got them the cover, yeah. No, I think they need. Sean's shaking his head at me. You needed.
So, so they didn't cover the spread.
Nope, unfortunately not.
Yeah, they were close. They were oh so close, but they didn't.
See, that's why you and I don't bet. We're not good at
it. They just lost they lost to Vegas. They lost what actually really means the victory. It was just a bad weekend for the Utes all around. They just lost everywhere. And I'm glad I don't gamble because I would have probably thought I won and I'd have been all excited. And then I found out, no, you didn't. Okay, so just so you know, for me, it's about winning, right? It's about I don't even care about the spread, but people in Vegas do. So it's 10 for 14. All right, so Denver. Denver comes back to beat the Giants, right? And it's just an incredible game. But there's just a lesson to be learned here. And I guarantee you, this young quarterback, Jackson Dart, who is kind of taking the NFL by storm, and probably a bigger storm maybe than it is because he's in New York. It's just fascinating to me. How well he's done. But I guarantee you, he goes, nah, we got this game. I guarantee you their whole team said that. Ah, we got this game. They're not going to come back and beat us. And the problem sometimes when you get up so much on a team and so early that you really let your guard down. And the NFL, like the Big 12, is a parity league. Anyone can win it, and it's just fascinating to me how this ebbs and flows, during games, and how it ebbs and flows during the season, because there's some stuff going on right now that I think is shocking. And I will just say this, and I was thinking, like, here's some things that I thought I would never say at the start of an NFL season, that the Patriots were going to be good. Like I would have said they would be better. But I certainly wouldn't have said they would be, they're leading the AFC East. And I don't think I would have ever said, the Bills are kind of, I don't know, there's something weird going on there. I never would have thought I'd say that. I thought I would have said the Bills are going to compete to go. I would have said, to me, it was the Bills and the Chargers going to be in the championship game, and something's funky going on with the Bills. Here's another one. I'd have never said that. I would have actually bet on this one. The Colts were actually really good. Like I was like, and again, I picked them to beat the Chargers. So in fact, the only two games I lost the Giants, which I would have been 11 for 12, and of course the Jaguars. And part of why I picked the Jaguars because there's no Puka Nacua. They're going way across the world. That the the Rams had to go far farther, and I just felt like the Jaguars kind of turned a corner. And what happens a lot of times, again, you have a big game, and I should know this. So often when you have a big game in the NFL, you there's a letdown, and you feel like you've arrived. And once you feel like you've arrived in the NFL, they give you a ticket to exit stage left. You never arrive in the NFL. I don't care who you are. I mean, look at Jaden Daniels this year. I mean, that guy looked unbeatable. That guy was like, man, they're in for a ride right here. This rookie contract, the Commanders, man, they're fighting it. And I never thought, and speaking of like the Cowboys, and all I can hear now is Jerry Jones going, how do you like me now? Huh? How do you like me now? Got rid of my coach. I got a new coach in here. I got rid of Micah Parsons. And everyone thought we were going to be a freaking bust. And how do you like me now? And here the Cowboys, they're right in the thick of things. And they got an amazing offense. Another one that has shocked me, because I said the 49ers are going down. Like, they're going down. And no. And no. And the quarterback they paid all this money to isn't even playing. And they've lost Fred Warner, and they've lost, some great offensive production guys. And they're right there. How do you like me now? And then this one, Daniel Jones. Like I said this. I said this on our show. I said Daniel Jones will be starting this year. Like they don't do that for this guy not to start. They don't like Anthony Richardson. And he did. And it was like, okay, fine. Nope. Not so fine. And I'm just like, man, that guy is just getting it done. Well, I'll tell you who gets it done for you, and that's Culligan Water. They have been in Salt Lake City for over 38 years, and they are incredible. And they understand water. They're like the water geeks, water scientists, and they know that even the water in different municipalities has different mineral compositions, and it really impacts the water. It can impact the water with the pipes that that the water gets fed to your home. And they'll come into your house and they will do an analysis on your water. Give you a free test. All you got to do is call them up, 801-509-9686. That's 801-509-9686. Or you can just visit CulliganSaltLakeCity.com. It's CulliganSLC.com. And they'll come out and they will assess your water. And I'm telling you, you want to have them do this, but they'll give you a system that does so much for your house. It's dialed right into where your water is, and it's fascinating to actually hear and understand how different the water is. So you don't want that icky feeling, and you get brighter laundry, spot-free dishes. You have softer hair. Your skin's actually more hydrated. It's easier to clean things, which helps your appliances, everything to last so much longer. So you want to protect those appliances and things that have water on them against hard water deposits. Hard water is just brutal. So call them now, and if they install a new system, you can get free salt delivery for a year. And that's an amazing thing. So go check out Culligan Water, 801-509-9686. Oh, that's 801-509-9686. Or visit online, CulliganSLC.com. All right, we'll be back. You know, so many coaches on the hot seat, fired. I wonder what is going through their minds. What do you do if you're like Mike McDaniel? We'll talk about that more as the Down and Dirty continues here on ESPN 791 FM.
All right, Scott. We'll be real quick. We only got 4 minutes left, so I got to get you out at 54.
Yeah, we'll be good.
Okay.
I'm going to do my weight vision ad lib first, and then whatever time you have.
All right, 10-4.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome back. It's Down and Dirty with Scott Mitchell here on ESPN 792. The air show is running short. Like, we don't have a ton of time, but we do have a lot of time. I'll tell you what you have to have time for if you have any kind of business issues. Go into Wake. Go check them out. They're right there in Thanksgiving Point, right off the freeway. UCCU building. Can't miss them. Beautiful office, beautiful people. Dr. Waite's fellowship board certified in a refractive lens correction surgery. He's the best. That's what I had done, and it was beautiful. 15-minute procedure. I was actually awake. Didn't hurt. It's a little invasive, but it was really not a big deal. Minimal downtime, and man, it's changed my life. It has changed everything. So cool. I can see like without glasses, without any help, near and far, and I feel like Superman. I really do, and you can too. Any kind of vision problem you have, they'll do a full workup and figure out what's wrong and how to fix it. So go check them out, waitevision.com, WAITE vision.com. All right, so of course we've had some coaches fired. Billy Napier got fired. Mike McDaniel said, yeah, I'm not worried about my job after they lost to Cleveland. That's not really good. And he goes, I'm worried about my team. I'm focused on my team. And in my mind, I'm thinking, really? And then of course you got Norvell at Florida State, and it's like, we'll deal with that situation after the season, which means we're going to get fired, but we're not going to do it after the season. So how do you do this, right? Like, how do you manage in your head? Do you go, maybe I should be calling people for my next job? And everyone says, hey, look, you haven't coached until you've been fired, so it's not a big deal to be fired. And I think that's BS. I think coaches feel bad. I think it hurts their feelings. I think it's now coaches are really good at the best networkers in the world. Coaching is just this, nepotism, and it's a small world. So you never talk bad about a coach you're with. You always don't want to burn your bridges at all because, if you do that, then you're not going to have a job. That's why so many of these guys just rinse and repeat and go to new places. But I think it would be tough. I think it would be tough. Well, I know it's tough because I've been in that situation. I actually it was really one time in my career, and it was ugly. And I can only imagine how challenging it is for a coach to just, wake up and just know my days are numbered here. It's just fun to be able to go and say, hey, how do we win this game this week? How do we get in the playoffs? How do we win the Super Bowl or whatever level you're coaching at? That's what's thrilling. That's what's exciting. But man, it'd be drudgery. It would just be painful to have to go into the office and go. My days are numbered. All right. Well, our days are numbered here. It's over. This has been the Down and Dirty with Scott Mitchell here on ESPN 792.1 FM. The Sean O'Connell Show's next. Until then, we'll see you then.
Nice job, Scott. I'll let you be, buddy. See you tomorrow, boss. Love you.